I'm Irving, and where am I?
The Ballad of Irving. Irving. Big fat Irving. Big sport Irving. The 142nd fastest gun in the West.
As you can see, we made it into the new place. We still have some stuff going on with the sound, but we didn't want to delay anymore, so here we go. Looking at Half-Life 2 for the Xbox 360. Last time, we were making our way along a coastal path, dodging things called antlions and shooting down gunships for Commander McBragg. As a reward, his men opened up a big gate so we can continue our journey to wherever it is that we're going. Hey, cool, there's actually a paved road to follow. So I'll just stay on this and... what the hell? Yep, you have paved road for about 12 feet, then you have to veer off down the hill. Past more of the usual stuff, and you get to a compound that appears deserted. Well, no, there's Combine here. You take them out, and then you have to do this. Now bear in mind, I know this stuff for two reasons. One, I've played the game before. Two, I used several walkthroughs on GameFAQs. How anybody figured this out to begin with is beyond me. So we jump through a few more hoops and move on. Our dune buggy journey pauses at this bridge. We have to leave it behind and make our way across. It's normal gameplay, find the path, fight off some random enemies, that sort of thing. The really weird thing is, if you watched my whole playthrough of this, you'd see that there's a ton of rocket ammo and health packs along this bridge. That should mean there's one of those big gunship things coming after me, so I need to stock up on ammo and health to shoot it down. But you get all the way across the bridge and nothing happens except a few Combine guys. They're easy to take down with the crossbow, like this. Remember how that guy's hanging off the wall. After I got across and went in a room, I found this. There's no other possible source for that shadow except that guy that I nailed to the other side of the wall. In other words, his shadow is casting right through a brick wall. To be honest, I can't think of a joke absurd enough for this, so come up with your own and send it to me. My email's at the end of this video. I really want to hear from you because this is so goofy it makes my brain hurt. So you go upstairs, take down a couple more guards, pull a plug to kill a force field, then hit a switch that turns off the main force field blocking access to the actual bridge. That finally brings out the gunship we were obviously expecting. The official plan, apparently, is to get back to one of those big crates of rocket ammo so you can take this thing down. Unfortunately, I discovered that now I'm supposed to go all the way back across the bridge, and along the way I fell off and had to do this again. 5 times. Go ahead and laugh. I can't hear you anyway, so there. So, back across the bridge, fight a few antlions and combine, get back in the buggy and head across the actual bridge. It's a railroad bridge, but considering the condition this whole place is in, and those parked train cars off to the side, it should be safe to cross. I doubt there's any trains running these days. Then again, I could be wrong. It says failure to preserve critical resources. Yeah, like his head and body. Once you figure out how to get across the bridge alive, there's some basic stuff, checking out buildings, dealing with soldiers, that stuff. I hit one interesting point where somehow my dune buggy ended up like this. A few shots with the gravity gun got it loose, and I'm not asking how it got that way because all I did was bump into that post. There are a lot of questions I don't ask, like this one. Yeah, how does Gordon... Yeah, I don't want to know. You continue on until you come to this roadblock. Those stripe things look like they might be jumps of some kind, and this thing does have a turbo button. Let's give it a try. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, I guess it's gravity gun time again. What? It just disappears? Seriously? Why couldn't I do that with those gunships? Oh well, on we go. So on we go. You encounter another puzzle, but it's pretty easy. Then you get to a refugee camp at a lighthouse. Here you have to ditch your car because the bad guys are looking for it. After you help these guys fend off a major attack, you continue on foot. Of course, it's not that easy. You have to try and stay off the sand because it draws all the antlions in the known world. It doesn't help that the controls are still as goofy as ever. Watch this. I didn't move my stick even a millimeter to the side, but just like the first game, every so often the character just veers off to one side or the other for no apparent reason. In this case, it nearly got him eaten. But all good things must end, so eventually you make it to another camp. This one has these guys, Vortigunts or whatever they're called. You help them kill what is apparently an antlion queen, and then this guy, or whatever, shows you something really cool.
The freeman will now be instructed in the use of theropods. Attend now and learn to shepherd antlions with the so-called bug bait. The freeman will now break out his theropod and toss one into yonder pit. The freeman has done well. The freeman can also coax his antlions to attack specific targets. Observe the training mannequin and mark it well with another theropod. The freeman again excels in all tasks.
The free man excels in all things. Yeah, he can throw a ball of mush nearly 10 feet. Truly one to bow down and worship.
Now, attend well. Apply pressure to your theropod to signal the antlions in your command to follow you. The freeman shows his excellence in all things.
So yeah, you're heading into Nova Prospect to rescue Eli, but it would seem you're not going alone. You're going to have an army of antlions at your command. This ought to be fun. Yep, definitely fun. Let Let me tell you something. Having these things on your side just beats the hell out of having them try to eat you. And there's an endless supply of them. Even when you make your way through some sewer pipes into the prison compound, there's always at least 4 of them with you. No matter how many the bad guys kill, more come in to take their place. And the antlions always win. You'll have to take out some guards by yourself, of course. And later on, you'll need your rocket launcher again to take down not 1, but 2 of those gunships. But except for the gunships, the antlions can pretty well take care of everybody in your way. I like it! Of course, all this action, having them on your side and everything else, totally dodges the obvious question. What are these things? And where did they come from? Are they mutations of something on Earth? Or are they some alien organism that took up residence on this particular beach? And if so, how did they get here? None of these questions are ever answered. The Vortigaunts. They're the same green things that were zapping the crap out of us in the first game. Now they're our friends? How did that come about? Why? And they were part of the alien invasion, but now they're fighting against, whatever it is that we're actually fighting against. What changed their minds? They talk like this.
Do it. Do it.
But when they're talking to you, they talk like this.
The free man honors us by his presence. Follow, free man.
Perhaps they'd be kind enough to tell the free man what this is all about? Oh, I know in this particular mission it's about rescuing Eli, but I mean in general. Remember how we woke up in the middle of this story? Somebody or other was taking over the world, creating this army of clone soldiers, bringing in antlions, alienating the Vortigaunts and all the rest, and the free man slept through the whole thing. Some hero we have here. Yeah, he's a truly great man. At least when he's awake. From here, it's pretty basic most of the time. You fight your way through an open area and get to a sewer pipe that takes you into the prison. Inside, it's more basic gameplay with soldiers, automated turrets, and the like. All stuff we've seen before. Figuring out where to go is hard sometimes, but for the most part, it's a straightforward game. You run into a couple of queen antlions in here, so be prepared. Aside from that, the most challenging thing is getting past a couple of turrets that are behind a force field. Use game facts as necessary. Again, how the hell somebody figured this stuff out in the first place is beyond me. I'm just glad it wasn't me. Screw that. Let Captain Kirk go where no man has gone before. Inside the prison, you hook up with Alex again. How she got there is anybody's guess. She said she'd take the train, so maybe she was on that train that killed you?
Gordon, you made it. Boy, am I glad to see you. We'd better hurry, Gordon.
Why didn't she find a way to make it easier for you to get in? Don't ask. So Alex uses her convenient sonic screwdriver to get past a bunch of doors and stuff. She gets to a computer and uses her sonic screwdriver on it, too.
This'll get me into their security system. Now to find my father.
Wait a minute. I think I just figured it out. Alex can appear anywhere, anytime, even when it took you a day and a half to squirm your way into the same place. She always seems to get there before you do, no matter where it is and how long it took you. And she has a sonic screwdriver that can open doors, analyze and hack computers, and all the rest. Alex is a Time Lord. She's just not letting you see her TARDIS. Egad, it all makes sense now. She locates Eli and brings him to him. Here's how this prison keeps people.
All right. Let me see if I can get this open.
Is that really you? I can't believe you found me.
Eli wants us to rescue Dr. Mossman, too, so we track down where she is and see this.
You promised you weren't going to touch Eli. Oh my
The
God.
soldiers were a bit overzealous, I admit, but he was too tempting a prize to simply turn loose, especially in the absence of Gordon Freeman.
You would have had Freeman if you'd been patient and just waited for my signal.
We weren't entirely sure you were ever going to get around to that. Human loyalties being what they are.
Dr. As I have stated before, you have to let Eli come around on his own.
I
You
have
can't-
known Dr. Vance far longer than you, my dear. I'm afraid your feelings for him may have blinded you.
Feelings? This has nothing to do with feelings. It's a simple truth that when Eli believes in
This
our...
is not open to debate, Dr. Mossman.
Doctor, please.
So sorry, Judith. I'm all out of time.
So it's a battle royal to get to her. One thing I haven't talked about is secondary fire on some of the weapons. The submachine gun has a grenade launcher that can do some nifty things like make bad guys fly. As you make your way to Dr. Mossman, you encounter several waves of soldiers. Good thing you now have some turrets to help you. Alex confronts Mossman and the three of you head into a teleportation chamber. Alex brings her father there, but something weird happens.
I'm sorry, Alex. It's the only way.
Get back here!
What's going on,
Dad!
Alex? Judith!
Oh!
What's happening?
Think, Alex, think. Dr. Kleiner, you have to stop them!
Stop who, my dear?
Oh my God! What coordinates are these? Where the hell did she take him?
What is she talking about? The only way to do what? But there's no time for that now. Alex has to power the teleporter up again while you fight off all the soldiers in the known universe. It's a huge battle. You have 3 very fragile turrets to help you. And yes, I have to admit, it's an absolute blast. You and Alex finally get in the teleporter and find yourselves right back where you started, in Dr. Kleiner's lab. But again, something weird has happened.
My God, we made it. But where's Dr. Kleiner? Dr. Kleiner, let us out!
Alex? Gordon? My God, how did you get here? And when?
What's wrong?
My dear, I had given up hope of ever seeing you again.
I was afraid we might not make it either. I think the teleport exploded just as we were porting out.
Indeed, it did. And the repercussions were felt far and wide, but that was over a week ago.
What do you mean? Gordon and I were just there a minute ago.
Fascinating. We seem to have developed a very slow teleport.
Mossman took Eli to the Citadel, whatever the Citadel is. Of course, Alex has to go rescue him, and of course, Gordon is gonna help. I'm still wondering when he gets a chance to pee. There's more good news. We've been reunited with Dog. Alex has some stuff to take care of, so you and Dog go on ahead like this. Then you meet up with some more resistance, and suddenly you have a squad to command. A what? So what can you tell them to do? Basically, go there and come here. And both are done with the same button. Big deal. Most of the time they're about this useful.
Let me get out of your way.
Let me get out of your way.
Pardon me.
You have to love how polite these guys are, even during a firefight.
After you. No, please, after you. No. I insist. Age before beauty, you know. Now, don't be a sill. Go ahead. Oh, no. Let's be sensible. You first, please. I have it. Let's go together, shall we? Surely.
Then they tell you to watch out for the hoppers. The what? What the hell is a hopper? Nope. Probably not. Definitely not. Basically, it's a landmine. And if you pick it up with your gravity gun and put it down somewhere again, it's on your side and will go off when the bad guys get too close. Okay. The Resistance people are right about one thing, though. These things are everywhere. So anyway, you go on and help them storm a barricade. Why? Because you're heading for the Citadel and the barricade is in the way, dummy. So do it. Where to go next? Irving's Law? Follow the bad guys. They were coming down this ramp in waves, so it's safe to guess that's your next path. Up you go, find a few more bad guys, and then head on out the other side of the building. More fighting, you move through a tunnel, and then you come to this. There are several ways to get across it. I think this one is the best. So you're on the other side of it and there's nowhere to go. Well, almost nowhere. You've got to be kidding. And where the heck is my squad? They're clear back on the other side of that pool because they don't have the protective suit. Never mind that the suit didn't have any juice in it, so it was useless, and I died 4 times getting to this point. If Freeman was the brilliant superstar these guys think he is, he would have stayed back there with the squad and figured out somewhere else to go. But presumably that wouldn't make an interesting game, I guess. So you get across the goo, which believe me isn't easy, find your way into a hallway next to it, and open the door for the squad. This guy is so nice it makes me want to hurl sometimes. Anyway, you go here, there, and everywhere and make your way to the courtyard of this big, important-looking building. You know you're supposed to go in it and get something because one of the nameless NPCs told you so. But, of course, there's Combine in the way. They're easy to take out, and it looks like they just gave us our way in. What? They blew this door to smithereens. We watched them do it. What's this? How'd it get there? Even in this world, huge metal doors don't just appear out of nowhere, especially when they've already been blown up once. Then again, we just watched it happen, so maybe they do. You find another way in the building and you come to this.
Uh-oh, turrets. Hey, you've got the HEV suit. You deal with them. Then I'll work the security console.
Turrets? Where? I don't see any. Are those blue beams dangerous? What's going on here? Well, eventually you figure out that when you break the blue beam, this happens. I ask an often repeated question. How is the player supposed to know this? This doesn't help.
Roll a grenade in there if you've got one. That ought to do it.
In where?
Roll a grenade in there if you've got one. That ought to do it.
In where?
Roll a grenade in there if you've got one. That ought to do it.
You already said that.
Roll a grenade in there if you've got one. That ought to do it.
You can shut the hell up already. I swear if he says that one more time, I'm going to figure out a way to shoot him. We'll be right back after this. So you go through the building and you have to take out 3 generators. You take one out by doing this.
We've got 3 generators today. more generators to go.
So the generator's a big pinball machine, and you tilt it. You take down all 3, and that removes all the shields in the building, a big gun on the roof, and a bunch of other stuff. Now Barney tells you to get to the roof and lower a sky bridge. Where'd he come from? Anyway, you do that, have a huge battle that's about the most fun I've had in this game so far, and suddenly you're dealing with another one of these things. Fortunately, you still have your rocket launcher, but it might take more than 3 shots. That's why this guy came with you. His job is to get killed so you can pick up that rocket he's carrying and have more ammo. Let's have a moment of silence for this brave soul, shall we? What am I doing? This is a video game character. Yes! Anyway, you take this thing down, fight a bunch more Combine, and then you're supposed to go out into a courtyard and deal with the Striders. What's a Strider? That's a Strider. The really bad part about this is, if you take that one down, a gazillion more show up. They can be beaten, and I'll tell you how. Drop to the menu screen and press left bumper, up, right bumper, up, left bumper, up, right bumper, up. Now, resume the game and see what happens. If you didn't figure it out from that clip, it's an invincibility cheat. Yes, I'm not above using one in a game like this.
I am invincible!
There's one thing to keep in mind if you use this cheat. It's permanent. Once you plug it in, it's there until you start a whole new game. But as chaotic as this section gets with the Striders and the soldiers and the flying flashbulb doohickeys, I finally gave up and went for it. It has its advantages.
So we will walk through the fire.
To be fair, it is possible to get through all this without the invincibility cheat. I know because I did it in a later playthrough. Did that make it more fun? Hell no. It's still thoroughly bogus. As you head out into the courtyard, one of the squad tells you they got a crate of rocket ammo placed on the other side of the plaza. So, she said the other side. That usually means the side opposite where you're at, right? Wrong! You can spend all day over there searching for the crate and never find it. There's a few rockets here and there, and you can take down some of the Striders, but there's never enough. As it turns out, the crate of unlimited rocket ammo is under the portico of that building off to your left. Getting there is definitely not half the fun, because it takes you on typically twisty-turny path that ensures these Striders will kill you several times before you find it. Now, check this out. Did you catch that? It takes 4 solid hits to kill that thing, and your rocket launcher holds 3 rounds. So you have to run back to the ammo crate or find more ammo to get that 4th shot, and you have to do it for every stinking Strider that's out there. No soft spots, no trick points, no nothing. It takes 4 hits, and if you don't like it, don't move away from the crate. Now, naturally, Getting more ammo from the crate couldn't be as simple as just walking up to it. No, you have to manually open the damn thing. And of course, during that time, the Strider has zeroed in on you and blasted you into your component atoms by the time you get the box open. It's stupid. It's another example of unfair play. And the majority of people love it. I still don't get it. Your squad members are useless. Basically, they're there to get killed and replenish your ammo. Let's have a moment of silence for them.
Oh no, you're not pulling that on me again.
Hey, it was worth a try. You're welcome to try and get through this without the cheat. In fact, I encourage you to do so. That way you'll appreciate why I broke down and used it. If you can get past all this crap without it, more power to you. I'll take any advantage I can get, especially when something like this happens. Look at this. I can't move. I can't crouch. I can't jump. I can't do anything.
Good idea, Dr.
Now, since this guy who has me pinned against the wall is supposed to be my squad member, I should be able to point somewhere and have him go there. So I tried that several times. Each time he said something like, "You got it, Dr. Freeman," but didn't move. I finally had to exit out and reload the last checkpoint. This game has more bugs than a $10 an hour motel room. Not that I have any actual experience with such a place, but I've been told, never mind. Through some blasted out buildings where you have to deal with even more Striders, plus these things. I'm still not sure what those are for, except to annoy you and make you waste ammo taking them out. Some of them drop suit juice when they explode, so that's good, but it really isn't a decent trade-off for the irritation of having those stupid blinding flashes in your face all the time. Once you come out of there, one of the useless people tells you that we're almost to the Citadel wall.
We're almost to the Citadel wall, Doc. I don't know how the hell we're gonna breach it, but you've made it this far. I'm sure you'll think of something.
Gee, thanks. Why don't you say, "My existence is meaningless," and shoot yourself while you're at it? So you get to the area that leads to the Citadel wall, and there it is. How are you going to get through it?
Dog knocking over walls, and I think he's looking for Alex. He seems to have it set in his that she's in the Citadel. I figured Alex wouldn't want him getting any deeper in trouble, but hell, you try stopping him. Hey, dog! Not there! You can't get through that way! Well, I'll be damned. I think he wants you to go through, Gordon. You better hurry.
Check it out! Dogus Ex Machina! You jump down the hole and away you go. You go through a tunnel and make your way down a cliff, then go through MC Escher's nightmare. After that, you see these people carrier things like Eli was in, and you discover you're supposed to find your way into one. And here we see the biggest disadvantage of the invincibility cheat. The only solution is to go to the menu and restart at the last checkpoint. Once you get into the carrier thing, sit back and watch for the next several minutes because there's absolutely nothing else to do. Silly me, I thought I was playing a game, not watching a movie. When you get off the thing, you keep making your way toward... why are we here again? Oh yeah, they're holding Eli. But a machine takes all your weapons except the gravity gun, but now it's got a bit more punch.
So, this is Dr. Freeman. At last.
This guy, Dr. Bream, is the world's biggest collaborator, and he starts lecturing Freeman about why he's right and Freeman is wrong.
I wish I could say this was a pleasant surprise, but it's neither a surprise nor, as you will surely agree, very pleasant. Well, I am nothing if not pragmatic.
Of course, everywhere you go, there's a truckload of soldiers. But with the invincibility on, they're more of a nuisance than anything else. How is it without the cheat? I don't know. I've played this game twice, and both times I wound up doing the invincibility thing. Fewer ulcers that way. So after about the 5th time this guy started preaching, I got enough of it.
I thought not.
Eventually, you have to get into another of those carrier things. It brings you to the top, where you meet your old friend Mossman, and finally come face to face with Bream. He's trying to convince Eli to talk the rebels into stepping down, and he produces a fairly large bargaining chip.
Will you let your stubborn short-sightedness doom the entire species, or will you give your child the chance her mother never had?
How dare you even mention her?
And Mossman's loyalties are finally revealed.
I'm so sorry.
Alex, Judith? What do you think you're doing?
We're doing what I could never do alone. We're stopping you.
Yes.
Of course, no way it's that easy. Bream grabs the gravity gun. So now it's a chase. Mossman stays with Eli while Alex leads you to the next impossible task. She says that Dream is heading for the Citadel's dark core. Whatever it is, it powers pretty much everything, and there's a portal there that he intends to use to get away. So you have to stop him. And how in the name of all that is sacred to gamers anybody ever figured out what the hell to do there is beyond me. At least one developer has to have explained it to somebody, and they explained it to somebody else, and from there it found its way onto the internet, because this is so freaking complicated and counterintuitive, words fail me to describe it. One thing I really have to give the game credit for is frequent save points. Most of the time it saves every time you achieve any little accomplishment, which is very nice and I like it very much. Then we get here. There's not a single save point anywhere in this last damn sequence. So if you fail, and you will, you go all the way back to the beginning of it and start over. Not cool, people! Up to now you've had save points at various stages of a task. Why not now? Why suddenly change the rules? It's yet another example of not playing fair, and it really pisses me off. It's the kind of thing that makes me never want to play your game again. And it sure as hell means I won't be buying any sequels, add-ons, t-shirts, samplers, stained glass windows, or anything else. Because you basically got me to this point and then stabbed me in the back. I expect a lot better out of Valve, the people who brought us the amazing Portal games. But this series was a turkey from the very first, and will undoubtedly continue to be. No save points in this final part is just one more proof of that fact. So you finally figure out how to destroy this thing and keep Dr. Bream from getting away, and this happens.
We've got to get out of here. Maybe we still have...
Time, Dr. Freeman? Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived. You've done a great deal in a small time span. You've done so well, in fact, that I've received some interesting offers for your services. Ordinarily, I wouldn't contemplate them, but these are extraordinary times.
What the hell is he talking about?
Rather than offer you the illusion of free choice, I will take the liberty of choosing for you. If and when your time comes round again. I do apologize for what must seem to you an arbitrary imposition.
And why did he just go negative?
Dr. Freeman, I trust it will all make sense to you in the course of... Well, I'm really not at liberty to say. In the meantime, this is where I get off.
Where the hell did he go? And what do I do next? Did we win? Did we survive? What happened to Alex? This makes no sense! Wait a minute. That's it? Is this supposed to be a cliffhanger or something? If it is, it's one of the worst I've ever seen. None of this makes even the least bit of sense. If I read it correctly, that big machine just blew up in Gordon's and Alex's faces, presumably taking them with it. But suddenly everything freezes and this guy shows up and BAM! That's the end. This is just about the lamest, most boneheaded ending I have ever seen. And considering the endings to the first game and the add-ons, that's saying something. I'm starting to think Dan Brown took his I don't know how the hell to end this lessons from these guys. Why anybody thought this was a good idea, I can't fathom. Why anybody actually likes this game is even more unfathomable. But to this day, it's still wildly popular, and from what I gather, people are drooling all over themselves waiting for the third game. I don't understand. The mechanics are horrible, the loading, graphics, and gameplay are lazy carryovers from an earlier era of games and haven't been updated at all. Most of the time, we still have no idea what we're supposed to be doing or why. A good third of the game is nothing more than padding, and the characters are about as interesting as watching Blue Man Group blindfolded. One person told me that killing aliens was a big draw for the first game. This one doesn't even have that except for the stupid head crabs and the lame zombies. So what is it? With a lot of games like Splinter Cell, Halo, Fear, even the various Call of Duty games, you get to know at least some of the characters and start to care about them. With this one, everybody is so two-dimensional that I just don't give a damn. I don't have any emotional investment in these people at all, so why should I care about rescuing them, having Gordon survive, or anything else? First and foremost, this is bad writing. Bad programming and execution just compounds the problem. I really do not get it. I'd take a leaf out of Erod's book and smash the disc, but this disc also has Portal on it, which is an awesome game. In fact, yeah, Portal sounds like a good idea. Something actually good to play after this mess. Hey, what's this? Half-Life 2 Episode 1? Half-Life 2 Episode 2? Add-ons? Okay, maybe they'll explain something. Probably not, but you never know. I guess we'll find out. But wait a second. If that thing I just played isn't Episode 1, then what was it?
Ahem.
I don't know why I'm not surprised. Okay, what's your answer?
Well, it should be obvious. The people who make these games are essentially computer workers, and as you should know, computers count in binary, which is a series of ones and zeros.
Uh-huh. So?
So, my good fellow, it's clear that in numbering the episodes for this particular product, they've begun their counting at 0, as is always done in binary enumeration. The one you just reviewed is episode 0, hence the next is episode 1, and so on. Okay, if binary is only ones and zeros, then why is the one after that called episode 2? Clearly, they've translated it into base 10 from binary for the benefit of their target audience, most of whom would not understand binary and thus would be confused by episode 0, and then episode 1, and then episode 1-0, and then... Well, at least we can end on a happy note. I'm Irving, and I have no life, just like you.
Well, finally, Irving got 3 slugs in the belly. It was right outside the Frontier Deli. He was sitting there twirling his gun around, and Butterfingers Irving gunned himself down. Irving. Big fat Irving. Big dum-dum Irving. Big dum-dum dead Irving. The 142nd fastest gun in the West. Real.